Hi there. In a previous video, I went through some steps on how you can turn a PDF file into Google Slides so that way you can make them interactive, make it so that way the student is able to just zoom in, add notes, etc., and mark directly on the PDF without a special tool. It's all just working within Google Slides. And this is different than making them backgrounds. This is something called editing the master. And this is really a part two. You can make it even more interactive. You can make it so that way it's much different than just a PDF file because you're able to customize it and make it your own. So I'm going to add two different elements that might be something that would be helpful to you as a teacher to make your content a little more interesting and also give students some voice and choice. That's really important in this process, especially in a distance learning scenario. So in this one, I took all these questions. I took this article from specifically Newsela, great article talking about TikTok. And then there's a writing portion. I took the question directly from the article on Newsela and just utilize their questions. So I'm going to continue that process. And to continue that process, I really recommend you see the first video if you didn't, or if you're not familiar with editing the slide master. This is very different. Like I said, this is different than creating backgrounds. Backgrounds just aren't as effective in the long run. And so this allowed me to do all these drop downs with all these layouts, and I can pop those in at any time. Let's talk about this process. I'm going to go to Slide, Edit Master. And for this first part, I'm going to add a layout specifically for the purpose of adding some choice and some additional resources that they could possibly do. So let's start with that one. I'm going to add a new layout, and I'm going to call this one Compare the Article. I'll click on this placeholder. I'm going to get rid of the placeholder by clicking on the border and hitting backspace so I can pop it directly in. And I'm going to add in some word art. We're just going to make this look nice. Okay, so I added in some word art, changed the color of it, added a little extra to it. I'm going to add in a text box here. Actually, I'm going to add in a shape for this next part so I can give some directions. When I click on shape, I'm going to choose just a regular box and draw the box. You can change the color of it if you want. It already has, it looks like, the format options, and it looks like it already has the drop shadow on, but I'm going to double check it in case it's not on. All right, so I have a couple of articles here. I have this one, which is from childmind.org. I'm going to take a screenshot. On a Chromebook, to take a screenshot, you hold down Control Shift and then you hit what's called the window button, or I call it the window button. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but that's the button above the 6. And when I do that, it allows me to take a screenshot. And on a Chromebook, then I can hit copy and pop it right into this article like so. So I'll paste it in, resize it to make it smaller so that way they can pick one. I will grab the link to this article. I'm going to click in the URL bar, the Omnibox, and copy that. Go back to my article, click on the picture and choose the link icon and paste it in. So there's one, apply. And then for this one, this is from CNN, and I will take a screenshot of that too. Control Shift window button. There we go. So there's my two articles already linked in, ready to go. Now what I need to do is I'm going to build a Venn diagram in this space. So I'm going to go to my shapes, choose a circle, and make it one color. Let's make this one red. And then I am going to duplicate this. To duplicate this, I can right click and copy and paste. The other cool trick is to just click on it one time and hit Control D That will make an automatic duplicate, exact same size. It's the same as hitting copy and paste. And what I will do is I will change the color of this one. We'll make this one blue. And then I'm going to click on the paint bucket again because I want to make that transparent. Because if I make it transparent, then I'm going to get my nice middle section there. So that way I have a different color right down the middle so I can do my compare and contrast. Okay, so now I have these two circles for my Venn diagram. I need to add in a couple shapes here so that way I have a space to put in which side is which. And we will make this same color as the box above. Make sure that my drop shadow is on. There we go. Again, while I have that selected, I'm going to hit Control D to get my copy. That way I'm not playing roulette trying to figure out exactly what size this is. These are all just little workflow tips. So I'm going to say, and then on this one, what I will do is put in what's called a placeholder. And so the placeholder is going to be where they put in their information and say which article they read. So I will put that over the top like so. And to let them know specifically what they are supposed to do, I'm going to use an arrow here and say your resource title. And I'm going to stretch that out a little bit so there's a little more room. And they will put that information in there. And now I need to give them more spaces to respond. So these are placeholders. Again, if you did not watch the previous video, I recommend you watch it so that way you know exactly what it is I'm actually doing here. So I will resize that and shift it over. One placeholder there. Okay, now they're all aligned and ready to go. If I go back to my regular Google Slides here, I can add it from the layouts. It's now ready to go. I have a compare the article extension activity that could be added on. They can go to these two different resources. I may need to zoom in a little bit so that way I can see it a little better, so that way the students are able to interact. I do have a student tutorial as well, so that way they know exactly how to interact with this space. And you will notice though, here's the kind of tricky part about this. You will notice that these links don't work. They don't take me to those articles. So I'm going to show you one last trick, and that is to take the content from the master, and I will select these two items. I'm going to click on one, hold down Control and click on the other one, and hit Control C. I will go back to this space here, and all I have to do is right click and paste it in. It's going to go right over the top. And so there's one in the background on the slide master as well as on top of that. All it is floating back there. And so I have this one that's not movable. This one is. This is just sitting on top of the article. I will hit Control Z to put it back. All right, and so just like that, I took an article, customized it, made it my own, added some extension activities here, and added in an interactive tool of sorts that I could do all within a PDF file that wasn't originally there. So I'm able to customize this, make it my own, and not just give the students a regular PDF file.